Hey VC, this is Carlos from As the Table Turns. So I wanted to do the jazz vinyl tag, and I looked up to see if there was one. I saw two people that had done videos for someone who created a jazz vinyl tag. But then I looked to see if the original video was there. The original video is not. Anyway, so I wanted to just kind of create my own. So this can be the official, this can be the non-official, this can be whatever you want it to be. You can do this. You don't have to do this, obviously. But, you know, I just figured I'd create a jazz vinyl tag for 2025. So there are 20 questions. Once again, you don't have to do all 20 questions. You can pick which questions you want to do. I know that it's a lot after if you've done the regular vinyl tag to then do another 20 questions for, you know, an offshoot, a subgenre vinyl tag. So yeah, you don't have to do all the questions. You can pick and choose which ones you want. But let's just start. The first jazz album you purchased in 2024. That for me would be Joe Henderson Elements. This is a 2017 pressing, but I just had purchased it last year for the first time. You guys all know, there's just way too much jazz out there to go and listen to and absorb and explore. And then on top of that, just all these different jazz vinyl series that are happening right now. There's just too many. It's a good thing, but it's also, you can't buy everything at once. All right, and then next question is last jazz vinyl purchase of 2024, and that is Chet Baker Late Night Blues or Late Night Jazz. A really, really good album. I actually heard about this from Melinda. I really hadn't heard anybody talk about it, but yeah, I think it was an RSD from last year, 2023. So once again, just barely picked it up right now. I didn't even remember that this had come out. Obviously, they do a Chet Baker every RSD, but I didn't know that one. All right, next question is your favorite trio album. Favorite trio album. I picked this one. I really love the Red Garland trio. I think that's my favorite trio, even over Bill Evans. Yeah, this is a really great album. Art Taylor, Paul Chambers. I just really love Red Garland's playing. I think he's definitely one of my top 5 pianists. Yeah, within jazz. So really, really great album. Red Garland's piano. Fourth question is a 10-inch or a collection from the 10-inch era. And so I wanted to show this. Max Bennett on Bethlehem. Really great album. On here you have Max Bennett on bass, Charlie Mariano on alto, Stan Levy on drums, Claude Williamson on piano, Frank Rosalino on trombone, and Helen Carr on vocals. Yeah, this is an amazing album. I really like this. I'd like to pick up some more Max Bennett stuff from Bethlehem, but very cool 10-inch. And awesome artwork too. So, all right. Fifth question is an artist or album you recently discovered. So there hasn't really been an artist that I discovered recently. There have been in the past few years, but this last year, there really wasn't, but this album right here that everybody is loving, that's on my top albums of 2024, is Donald Byrd Kofi, and this album just is an amazing fusion album. Yeah, really love this album. So this was the LT series that Blue Note came out with, or United Artists, or whoever came out with it. I think back in the 80s, but now Blue Note is re-releasing a lot of them on the Tone Poet series. And so, yeah, this was, I think this might be one of the best of them from the LT series. Question 6, a live album from the West Coast of the United States. And that is Thelonious Monk at the Black Hawk in San Francisco. Yeah, this is a quartet plus 2. So you have Thelonious with Charlie Rouse, John Orr on bass, Billy Higgins on drums, Joe Gordon on trumpet, and Harold Land on tenor sax. So really, really great lineup and almost awesome performances. I've been trying to create a little collection of the Black Hawk. I'm only 2 hours south of San Francisco, so yeah, I would like to create a whole collection of all those. I have about 5 of them right now. A live album from Europe. This is my unopened copy. I actually had purchased the one without the signature, and then I wanted to go ahead and go get the signature one. So this is Ron Carter, Golden Striker with Donald Vega and Russell Malone. Really great album from Ron Carter. You know, recent albums that he's been dropping. But yeah, Golden Striker. Trying to remember where this was. Does it say? Oh yeah, live at, I can't say that word, at Castle. And then let's see here. All right, 8th question is a foreign recorded album from a U.S. expat. So somebody that's moved out of the United States into another country, and they have basically moved there, and then they have started recording albums there. So this is Duke Jordan, Flight to Denmark. You have Duke Jordan on piano, Mads Vinding on bass, and Ed Thigpen on drums. Really great album on Steeplechase. Next question is an album led by a non-U.S. artist. So I picked out Hiroshi Suzuki, Cat. Really, really cool album, trombone-led album. So, yeah, let's see here. Hiroshi Suzuki on trombone. You have Hiromasa Suzuki on keyboards. Kunamitsu Inaba on bass. Akira Ishikawa on drums. He's really a great drummer. I have a couple of his albums as well. Saxophone, Takeru Miro. I can't say that word. Miroka. So yeah. And then an album led by a bassist. Let's see here. I got Oscar Pettiford, Bethlehem album. It's just his self-titled album. On here you have Donald Byrd on trumpet, Ernie Royal on trumpet, Bobby Brookmeyer on trombone, Gigi Grice on alto and clarinet, Jerome Richardson on tenor and clarinet, Don Abney on piano, and Ozzie Johnson on drums. This is a really cool album. I really like the instrumentation on here, the use of instrumentation on here. But yeah, amazing lineup. So on Bethlehem as well. And let's see, an album from a small label. This is also a bassist album. This is Doug Watkins, Watkins at Large. This is on Transition, so these are some other Tone Poet releases from a label that they happen to own the rights to. And it was a small label. I don't know too much about it, too much about the history of it, but it was a small label. They only, I think, put out like a couple handfuls of maybe a dozen of these albums, maybe even less. I'm not too sure, but the label is Transition. Let's see, open it up real quick. They had these little booklets that come with it as well. And these are replicas. Everything is a replica. Some of these books had to be tracked down because these are so rare. There weren't a whole lot in circulation, so they had to track these down. A couple people, I think Blue Note Spinner, he had to help with his, and I think What Ken Brown had to help with use one of his as well for those books. So that's really cool. Let's see. Show an artist that has recorded for 4 or more labels. And this can be a fun one where if you want to try and find the person that has recorded for the most labels, you can do that. You can, you know, add up the labels if you want. You can even change the question to be 5 or more labels, 6 or more labels, whatever. I mean, Jerry Mulligan, I had his all written down. I don't know. Yeah, I had them all written down, but he's recorded for so many labels. Pacific, World Pacific, Fantasy, Verve, Mercury, Paramount, ABC Paramount, yeah, a ton. CTI, he has a CTI record. Yeah, so many. Limelight. Okay, so this is a show an artist, label, or jazz subgenre that you would like to explore more. So this is kind of very open, you know, just talk about who you would like to explore more or what you would like to explore more. So I would like to, I wrote down, I would like to start exploring fusion even more than I already have. Also ambient, kind of ambient jazz. Right at the end of the year, I started really digging that kind of stuff. And so picked up a few different albums that actually made it on the top of my 2024 list. An album that is not well recorded, but you love. This isn't really an album, so you can do whatever you want. What I did right here is I just did the box set Bixology, Bix Beiderbecke. Obviously, these were recorded a long time ago when recording technology wasn't the best. But it's a really cool box set of, you know, him and the Wolverine Orchestra, him with Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, Eddie Lang, Miff Mole, him with Frankie Trombauer, Joe Venuti, everyone, Gene Krupa, Hoagie Carmichael, Bing Crosby's on here, you know, really, really young, so you get to hear some Bing Crosby when he was in the Paul Whiteman Orchestra, which is also where Bix Beiderbecke was as well. Bud Freeman, Benny Goodman, Jack Teagarden. So you got all kinds of people on here that are kind of very young starting out. A lesser known album from an artist you love. And that is this one right here. I showed this one recently also on my top pickups of the year, basically. Art Farmer, On the Road. So on here you have Art Farmer on flugelhorn, Art Pepper on alto sax, Hampton Hawes on piano, Ray Brown bass, Steve Ellington drums, and Shelly Manne on drums. So not 2 drummers, just play different tracks on the album. But this is an Art Farmer later in his career. This is for contemporary, but yeah, really cool album. Okay. An artist you're surprised did not lead more sessions and have more led sessions back in the day. And that is Jimmy Forrest. I really feel like I only have these 2 albums of his. He has about 6, I think, but just for how amazing he was, I feel like he could have had way more. Yeah, he could have had a ton, and I don't know why he didn't and wasn't given the chance to lead. Most of them are on Prestige. I think like 4 or 5 of them are on Prestige, or I think 4 of them are on Prestige, and 2 of them are on Delmark. This one's on Delmark. So, but yeah, Jimmy Forrest, that kind of surprises me that he just doesn't have any more albums. Okay, question 17, a Latin jazz album or album with Latin-based compositions. And it doesn't have to be the full album, you know, it can be like a couple Latin-based compositions in an album, but just basically your favorite, or just show an album that you like that has Latin-based stuff. So I actually wanted to show Tito Puente, Mambo Diablo. He has on here a version of Take 5. He has a version of Lush Life, Lullaby at Birdland. Yeah, so a really, really cool album from Tito Puente of him doing some jazz standards. And on here you also have George Shearing on piano. So really cool album. I'm glad that Fania re-released that one. Okay, next question is a fusion record. I went with Cortex, Trupo Blue. It's kind of a French. It's a French band, French fusion record. But yeah, this has been sampled before for some hip hop. Let's see. An album with the oddest instrumentation. So it can be like, it just the oddest instrumentation you can find in your collection, whatever, but I actually found that it was my very first album that I showed. This has some interesting stuff on here. So you have Joe Henderson on sax, alto, flute, and flute. Alice Coltrane on piano, harp, tambura, and harmonium. Michael White on violin. Kenneth Nash on congas. North African sakara drum. Chinese, African, and Indian bells, gongs, and other percussion instruments. And then Charlie Hayden on bass. But yeah, that definitely has some lots of different instrumentation going on. So I'm assuming they're going to be either fusion records and or like spiritual jazz records that would have the most oddest instrumentation on it. Let's see. And then question 20 is an album you have the most copies of, or a single artist that you have the most albums of. Because some people don't like to have duplicates in their collection, and I get that. I'm going to start trying to get rid of my duplicates too, where I'm down to maybe like 2. I actually don't have a ton. I have 3 kind of blues and 3 Miles Davis relaxins. But anyway, I wanted to go the artist route, so Bill Evans. I have the most of Bill Evans. I have 37 different Bill Evans records. Some of those I have multiples of as well. But yeah, anyway, this is the latest for RSD that came out. Bill Evans in Norway, Eddie Gomez and Marty Morell. Really, really great album again. So yeah, I'm going to keep trying to pick these up on RSD from Bill Evans. But all right. That is my jazz vinyl tag. Once again, if you want to do it, you can. If you want to do the other person's, you can. You can try and find that. I think it was Randall Weaver. Randall Weaver did the other one, and Rachel's Ghost. She did the other one as well. But I didn't see anybody else kind of tagging on to it and it getting bigger at all. I looked it up every which way I could, and I couldn't find it. And then the person that did the original, they took theirs down, or they took all their videos down. So anyway, I wanted to kind of do one, see if people want to jump onto it or not. But anyway, thank you so much. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you enjoy it.